Oh, but I know you're just scared. I was scared once too.
But it's okay to be scared. That isn't a sign of weakness. It's a normal human reaction when bad things happen or you feel like you don't have control over a situation.
I know what it's like to be different, to be alone in this world.
It's a horrible feeling to feel like no one really gets you, that you're set apart, that there's no one that's a part of your tribe. You end up feeling like you have to fend for yourself. You have to defend yourself among everyone because no one really gets you.
Like you, I didn't fit in with the other children. Something was wrong with me. All the teachers and the doctors said I was broken.
Around the age of 7 or 8, we start to experience the world not just from inside of ourselves, but how everyone else reacts to us. And when people are reacting to us and we can recognize that they don't treat us like they treat everyone else, that adds to that feeling of isolation. We often then start to see the world from a different perspective. We are now an outsider. I think that a lot of us have felt like we're alone. If I had him in the session, I would want to know, what exactly did that feel like? What kind of an effect did it have on him?
My parents thought a change of scenery, a fresh start might just cure me. It was absurd. As if the world would be any different here.
And you can hear in his voice, it isn't just anger or animosity that he's expressing, but this feeling of stoic desolation. There's nothing that they can do, even though they try to change the place, the location where they are. In the end, he feels is that the problem is actually inside of him.
Our new home provided a nest of black widows living inside of that. Most people fear spiders. They detest them. I found them endlessly fascinating.
So if I was speaking with him and he was sharing this in a session, I would ask him, why do you find the spiders so fascinating? Is it because you see aspects of yourself in them? They're isolated and different and feared and alone. Is that how you believe the world sees you? And so now, instead of being alone, you found something else that, in your mind, symbolizes who you are.
More than that, I found a great comfort in them, the kinship. Like me, they are solitary creatures.
So wait, you don't actually want to be alone. You want to have a kinship. You want to have someone else in this world that actually gets you, even if it's a small creature like a spider. That's innate to us, that feeling that we have someone else, something else that gets us.
They are solitary creatures and deeply misunderstood.
Is that how you see you? That feeling of being misunderstood, of people not getting you. We want people to affirm us and validate us, to understand the reasons for why we do things. Often the reason why we talk to other people and even share, and why he's discussing this specifically with Elle. Like the Black Widow spider, he sees her as a projection of himself.
They are gods of our world, the most important of all predators.
Okay, so now we're kind of going to a different realm. We've taken this creature and we've made them into gods, into something better than, more than the other creatures in this world. And remember, these spiders, they are a manifestation of how he sees himself as a god.
They immobilize and feed on the weak, bringing balance and order to an unstable ecosystem.
So now you can see the way that Vecna preys upon those that he has. He sees their fear, their anxiety, and he sees this as a weakness, something that he despises in others. I would surmise that the reason for that is the same thing that he detests inside of himself, so much so that he cut that part out of him because that feels powerful instead of weak.
But the human world was disrupting this harmony. Humans are a unique type of pest.
But wait, he's a human himself. But you can hear through his words that he sees himself as above this. These are the reasonings of why he can do the things that he does. He sees those other humans as less than, something that he needs to get rid of. An infestation, just like ants underneath his feet. Whenever we want to be able to destroy something, we often dehumanize them. That's how wars get started, and we can commit atrocities against others because we see them as something else, as something less than. And because of that, it makes it okay to do horrible, unspeakable things to them.
Multiplying and poisoning our world, all while enforcing a structure of their own.
He's speaking to her as our world. You are part of me. You are like me, and henceforth better than all of those around us. Don't feel bad for these mere mortals, for we are gods.
A deeply unnatural structure. Where others saw order, I saw a straitjacket.
He gives reasons that don't really make sense to be able to validate. And so what he's doing is he's defending himself. He's saying, I'm not a monster. I'm creating order. I have a reason for this. So don't fear me. I'm not doing anything bad. The reason that you know that this is just his own defense to it so that Elle doesn't turn against him is because it doesn't actually make logical sense.
Each life, a faded, lesser copy of the one before. Wake up, eat, work, sleep, reproduce, and die.
And there's little tiny pieces of truth in that. Yes, we are copies of each other. Yes, we have these made up rules in the world, and we're going through these rules every single day. Someone else's made up rules. But he's made up his own rules also. And you can hear the rage, that anger that's seething underneath him because he feels that someone else controls him and has said that he's the lesser form. He's the one that's broken, and that makes him angry.
Waiting for it all to be over, performing in a silly, terrible play day after day.
And so he's twisted this. He's actually doing this to be able to help people, that they're already miserable. So he's able to do these horrible things, and they're actually a gift. They actually want this. You believe that by ending these people's suffering, by killing them, you're doing a good thing? Or is this just a very elaborate set of justifications that you use to be able to do what you already want to do, which is to be able to control everyone else because you felt like they were controlling you, to make other people feel weak because inside of you, that's what you didn't like about yourself when you felt scared and believed that that was weak.
I could not close off my mind and join in the madness. I could not pretend.
You couldn't pretend, but that doesn't mean that you have to go all the way to the other side and destroy, scorch everything because you don't want to be a part of the games that other people play or the rules that they've made up. That doesn't mean that you have to murder everyone that's in your path either. That's a really weak reason for being able to state why you did all the things that you did.
And I realized I didn't have to. I could make my own rules. I could restore balance to a broken world, a predator, but for good.
Whenever someone says something and it doesn't really wash, that feeling of I could make my own rules, I could be a force of good, and then that thought of being a predator, he doesn't want to feel like a prey. He doesn't want to feel that he is less than or broken than everyone else. And that would have to be called out. Is this really good? Is that what you did? Do you believe that you're doing good right now? Is that what your purpose is?
As I practiced, I realized I could do more than I possibly imagined. I became an explorer into their minds.
His words sound sweet, but his actions are not. Were you reaching into someone's mind and figuring out how they works like a clockmaker and making it work better? Or were you reaching into someone's mind and using all of their fears and hardships against them and feeding off of them? Were you actually just getting pleasure from breaking things instead of fixing them? And are you just saying that you're a power for good because you hope that then Elle will be able to accept you? Because the truth of it is a much darker place.
I saw my parents as they truly were. They presented themselves as good people, but like everything else in this world, it was all a lie.
And you can hear the anger behind his voice, that they were acting like they were good and normal, and he was the one that was broken. He was the one that had to be fixed. When someone speaks and they start to get faster, you can hear the buildup as he starts to speak through his teeth, that guttural anger that's seething beneath him. He has a lot of animosity towards what they did to him, how they made him feel. That though he was that patient X in the family, and that's what happens. Someone sometimes feels like they're the scapegoat in the family. They're where all of the bad things that happen are placed upon. And that can make people have a lot of animosity, especially when they feel like others are being hypocrites, that everything is good when they've also done things wrong.
A terrible lie. They had done things, 11. Such awful things.
And everyone has this dark place inside of them. Everyone does things that they wish that the world didn't know. But in this case, for one, I think that what he's really trying to say is that he shouldn't be held accountable for the terrible things he's doing. I think that this is a straight up projection because Elle caught him after he murdered all these people. He was hoping that she wouldn't know, so she wouldn't see him as different, as something that she should be scared of also.
I showed them who they really were. I held up a mirror.
And why? Why did he show this mirror? Because he wanted to say that he's not the only one that's done horrible things. He's not the only one that people should fear, that they also have done things that they should feel bad about. Why are you having to lock me away?
But my mother somehow knew it was I who was holding up that mirror. And she despised me for it.
But did she really? Or is that just what you think? That you feel that because you think that she's wanting to lock you away, but perhaps all she wants is for you to get help, to be able to be better, that maybe she doesn't know what to do to be able to help you. And so she's trying to go to an expert in that last chance effort to make things better. I think that for a lot of times, for children and teens that are forced to go to therapy, this feels like a really horrible thing because you didn't ask for it. You feel like it's something that's outside of your control. And so a lot of young people don't really enjoy that process, even if they might need it or get help from it. And because of that, right away in therapy, you put up all of these walls because you're worried that if you took them down and trusted this person, that maybe they also would betray you, or even worse, think less of you when they find out all of the different parts of how you work. And in the end, really just therapists are wanting to make things better. We end up hearing everyone's story, and because of that we really understand and normalize lots of behaviors because we understand that they're so much more normal and common than most people suspect. And so because of that, therapists are probably the least judgmental of people that you could ever meet.
She called a doctor, an expert. She wanted him to lock me away, to fix me. Even though it wasn't I who was broken, it was them.
And I hate those words of broken. People aren't broken. We all have flaws. We all have hurts. That's part of our humanity. People aren't broken. Sometimes things don't work the way that we hoped. And just so that you know, in this case, yes, one has a murderous rage and seems to enjoy toying with people, but people with antisocial personality disorder, that does not mean that they are dangerous and should be feared or people can be scared of. It does not mean that they're violent or going to hurt people. I think that a lot of times the media demonizes certain mental illnesses and makes people scared of them.
And so she left me with no choice but to act, to break free.
And that you would have to call out in therapy. Is that true? Was there no other choice? Or is that what you're hoping for people to believe? Often when we've done something that other people may not accept, we're so worried about that being judged that we end up giving all of these reasons for it, when really there could be something else that he could have done. The reason that he did this was because of how much rage and anger he felt at the moment of feeling trapped.
With each life I took, I grew stronger, more powerful. They were becoming a part of me.
And now you can hear his voice. He enjoyed that power. He enjoyed growing stronger. He wasn't just doing this because he had no other choice. It was something that he liked. And that's why he kept doing it, because instead of feeling weak and alone and with no control, this gave him power.
He began a program. Others were born. You were born. And I am so glad you were 11. So very glad.
And you can see those pseudo emotions, that he really is glad that she's there, that finally he can have someone that can become a part of him, that he doesn't have to force against their will and feed off of them. He wants someone that will understand him. And often when we see someone else as an embodiment of us, like us, we believe that they play by the same rules, that the same things that matter to us will matter to them. The things that work for us will work for them. And so because of this, now he's no longer alone. He has 11 that can continue his journey with him. He can tell that she isn't looking at this as the gift that he is offering.
They're not gone, 11. They're still with me. In here.
And that's the thing. One doesn't want to be alone. He wants to have other people with him. If they won't go willingly, as he's hoping with 11, he'll take them by force and keep them with him and feed off of their fear. People that are dealing with antisocial personality disorder, that doesn't mean that they want to be alone and solo. They still enjoy being with other people, though they may not be able to feel the same amount of empathy as other people can.
You tricked me. Tricked you?
And you hear from his voice that genuine question. He really didn't think that he tricked Elle. He thought seriously that she would be happy with what he's offering her.
No, I saved you. You are a prisoner here, just like me.
And that he saved her because that's how he felt, trapped and used and with no control. And so he was saving her from the things that hurt him. Often, even as parents, we're so worried that our children will go through the same traumas, even though they didn't go through the same things. They don't have the same parents. We worry. We feel like they're going to experience the same things that we do. And often that's not the case.
To your papa, you are nothing more than an animal, a monster, a lab rat to be tamed. The truth is just the opposite.
And there you have it. He's sharing everything. That's the way that he feels it. He's saying this is the way that 11 is looked at by everyone else. But this is actually his belief system that he is projecting through. We look at the world through all of these different walls, like we're inside of a fishbowl, and we see the world through all of our wounds, all of our fears. And these are his, not 11's.
You are better than they are. Superior. That is why you frighten him.
And that feeling of you are superior, he's saying you don't have to feel bad for them. They are lesser. And so because of that, bad things happening to them don't really matter. They're not an us. They're a them.
Join me. No.
And now you see that seething anger when she's denied him, that he's given her everything and she hasn't accepted it. And because of that, now he's going to have to destroy her also. This is a little bit of the inner workings of why Vecna does the things that he does. Let me know your theories in the comments below. And if you like this video and want to help out my channel, if you could please share my videos, it means so much because my channel is so small still. So thank you to everyone that shares it on Reddit and Twitter and with other people. It really does help. And hopefully I'll see you in the next video. If you're wanting more of the psychology of your favorite shows, please check out some of my other videos. And you can also check out Arcane, my Jinx Complete saga. It's a compilation video of all my Jinx related videos. It's nearly 2 hours long and available ad-free, sponsor-free only on Nebula. And Nebula is bundled in for free when you sign up with today's sponsor, CuriosityStream, at curiositystream.com/Georgia Dow, or by clicking on the link below. And right now, today, because you're watching this video, you can get CuriosityStream on sale for 26% off, less than $15 a year. That's less than the price of one movie ticket for the whole year. And that also includes thousands of amazing documentaries and series like The Body. The brain was once thought to be the body's control tower, issuing commands to all the other organs. But now scientists are discovering that communication flows between the organs of our bodies. They transmit messages that boost our immune system, improve memory, strengthen bones, and even lengthen our lifespan. Signing up is the best way to support educational creators directly, and it's the best deal in streaming today. So 26% off CuriosityStream, less than $15 a year, and Nebula bundled in for free. Yes, free. You just have to click on that button on the screen or head on over to curiositystream.com/Georgia Dow. Clicking on that link really does help out my channel, so thank you, and thank you to CuriosityStream for sponsoring this video.